Hi, welcome to my channel, and in the video today I'm going to talk about how to explain your injury or condition or whatever it is that your situation is to other people if they don't ask about it first. And I have three big methods here that I'm going to talk about, and they are things that you can try one of them, you can mix them together, you can ignore all of them, you can do whatever you'd like. But they are techniques that can help you avoid awkwardness if you need to or want to bring it up. Um, because typically, I wouldn't walk up to somebody and say, "Hi, I'm Greg," and I can only use one hand. You can if you'd like, but most people wouldn't do that, especially if you're trying to avoid awkwardness. Um, so, starting with the first method that I've come up with is don't explain it. If you know you're only going to see them a couple times and they don't really need to know, then there's not really much of a point in doing it. So, times where I've been in group projects in college and it didn't really involve too many things that I thought would create a problem for me only being able to use one hand, I just didn't explain it because the situation really didn't call for it. And if you don't want to explain it to somebody, you have a right to not do that. So that's important to remember. Second method is to embed it in another topic. So for me, because I do these videos, if I'm ever talking to somebody about the internet or YouTube specifically, I can say something about I have a YouTube channel myself. I can only use one hand. I haven't been able to use this hand since birth because I have nerve damage. And so I show one-handed techniques and give advice, and then go off into talking about the channel. And the benefit of that is you bring it up in a less awkward topic, and then you finish out that topic in a less awkward way, and you sort of just drop it in there. And good situations to use this method in is if someone stares at your hand but doesn't want to ask about it, and you kind of want to stop them from staring, and that might satisfy their curiosity once you say that. Or if you think they'll eventually ask but you would prefer to bring it up first and not face the situation of them asking you. The third and final method is to explain it when asked a broader question. And this could be in a job interview or a medical appointment or similar situations. So, a job interview, they might ask you what you consider your greatest weakness to be, or if they need any other additional information about you. You can say that then. Maybe if you consider your injury your greatest weakness, maybe you say it then and then you explain a bit about it and take that opportunity to do that. And then at a medical appointment, they might ask you about, do you have any medical conditions that we need to know about? You can say it during then, because they're in both those situations, they're not asking you directly about it, but you have an opportunity to say something then. And a recommended way of saying it when you are explaining your injury to someone is the what and how. So for me, the what is nerve damage and the how is a birth injury. So I could say I have nerve damage from a birth injury, and I feel like that would satisfy people of what they want to know if you're asked about it, or if maybe that situation where I said somebody is staring at your hand and they're curious about it, and you saying that, I would say most times would satisfy what they want to know. Another tip is you can make jokes about it. I would say save that for after you have already explained it and have talked about other things. Don't open up with a joke about it. I mean, if you want to, you can, but I wouldn't recommend starting with that. But one warning is if you do bring it up first, and especially if you make jokes about it, you do invite people to ask questions about it and start conversations about your hand or your injury. And so that's something to keep in mind. And if that does end up happening, I felt like I needed to bring it up first, and now they ask me questions about it, and I want to stop them from doing that. I would say the first time you bring it up in your first encounter with that person, if they want to ask you a bunch of things about it, I would say kind of just, bear with them and stick it out the first time since you did bring it up. And then if you see them again in the future and they keep talking about it over and over, then you can kind of have a talk with them about, I really am kind of self-conscious about this. I just felt like I needed to let you know last time we talked, but I am self-conscious about it. And I think that is, most people would be understanding about that. All right, so I think that pretty much covers everything for this video. If you have any other questions about anything or recommendations for video topics, let me know in the comments section and I might make a video on it.